Why did the machines at a World Heritage factory go silent, while the exact same machines here are still running today? In 1872, the Meiji government built the Tomioka Silk Mill, Japan's first modern silk reeling factory. In 2014, it was designated a UNESCO World Cultural Heritage Site, but its machines no longer run. Annaka City, Gunma Prefecture, at the foot of Mt Myogi, Usui Seishi Silk Mill. In Japan, only 2 factories can still reel silk thread from cocoons. To understand why, we go inside this one. From a single thread, silk is born. For over 150 years, the Japanese have kept this process alive. This is how thread is made. Cocoons arrive from farms, from all across the country. A large share of Japan's total cocoon harvest ends up right here. The cocoons go into drying machines. They come out the other side, dried. Dried cocoons are kept separate by batch, never mixed.
蔵構造で厚い土の壁がありますので、暑かったり寒かったりしても中の繭の品質があまり落ちずに長期間ですね、所蔵ができる倉庫という形になっています。
Cocoons are chosen one by one, held up to the light.
外側は綺麗でも中でさなぎが死んでいる繭っていうのがありまして、それは外から見たんでわからないので、注意してしっかりと抜くっていうのが大切な作業になります。
The selected cocoons are dipped in hot water. From each cocoon, a single thread is drawn. It's about a quarter the thickness of a human hair. 1,500 meters of thread that one silkworm spun and sealed itself inside. Dozens of these threads are twisted together to make a single strand of raw silk. The finished threads are bundled and finished. But this process is running against a hidden clock. There are now only about 130 sericulture farms left in all of Japan, and that number keeps falling every year. No one can say how many more years this scene, unfolding right in front of us, can continue. Tomioka Silk Mill became a World Heritage Site, a place to be looked at. At Usui Seishi, you can still get close enough to touch the process yourself. You can stand right next to the machines and hear them run. From cocoon to thread, you can watch the whole thing happen right in front of you. In Japan, there is nowhere else left to see this. Every shipment of raw silk carries a label that reads ukiyo-e, the same label the company has used since it was founded in 1959. Japanese silk was once an export. It was made for the world. That label still remembers. It all began in 1872 when the Meiji government built the Tomioka Silk Mill. By 1909, Japan had become the world's leading exporter of raw silk. By the 1930s, it controlled nearly 80% of the global market. But that era of dominance didn't last. Of the 1,871 factories that existed at the peak, only a handful remain. Tomioka itself shut down. Its machines are preserved, but they're standing still. Usui Seishi has machines of the exact same model. Automated silk reeling machines built by Nissan in the 1980s. The history of Tomioka is still running here, a living world heritage, still in motion. There is one person who has kept these machines going all this time. Imamura Yuki, factory manager at Usui Seishi. After a lifetime working with cocoons, he says he can read their condition not by sight, but with something closer to instinct.
まあね、20歳で入りましたから、今75ですから、まあ、55年間やってきたのかな。その当時、若い時にですね、前はね、白いダイヤと言われたんですよ。白いダイヤからできたものは、繊維の女王と言われたわけですよね。ですから、そういうものに憧れて、まあ、この職に就いたんですけども。
Over time, the industry moved toward newer equipment. As factories around them upgraded, Usui Seishi made a different call. Switching to newer machines wasn't something that was never on the table. It just wasn't the path they took.
機械もだいぶね、改造しました。私なりにね、これ長年やっぱりこうやってやってるとね、自分の子供みたいな孫みたいなね、買い物ですよ。で全部分かってますからね。
That affection runs deep, and it's backed by real understanding.
モーター1台で全部回るんですよ。すべてがいろんなものが。2000点ぐらい部品があるらしいですから。だからその組み合わせでうまくできてるんですよ。本当にうまくできてるんですよ。機械を変えるとね、品質も変わってくるんですよ。昔ながらのやっぱり糸を作るんだったら、昔からある機械を利用したらいいかなと思いまして。
The machines at the World Heritage site went quiet with a single decision. These machines did not. Every day, this man has kept them running. Why keep going? We put that question to company president Ando.
現状の日本の製紙業っていうのはもう数社しか会社がないっていうことで、今全国の繭のだいたい 65% 強は弊社薄井製紙株式会社に荷が届くということですので、現状弊社が日本最大の製紙工場になってます。
This is where that hidden deadline becomes real. The number of sericulture farms supplying those cocoons keeps dropping.
原料となる繭の確保っていうのが非常に重要なんですけども、全国の養蚕農家もすでに130戸程度になってますし、毎年残念ながら減少傾向にまだある。で、弊社に入ってくる繭量も少なくなってきてるっていうところからいくと、どうやってこれからその原料繭を確保して、日本の、弊社も含めてですね、日本の優良な生糸を作っていくかっていうのが一番大きな課題になります。
And yet, there are signs of life.
希望の星は群馬の55件のうち20数件は富岡製糸場が世界遺産になってから開工を始めた人なんですよ。だからやっぱり世界遺産登録を平成の26年6月25日に実現して、でまた再注目をされて、じゃあみんなでチャレンジしよう。
The craft that one man has protected for decades is now ready to be passed on.
去年ですかね、東京農業大学の私から言えば孫みたいなもんですけども、その子がやっぱり生糸に憧れて、私の後を継ぎたいという形でね、帰ってきたんですよ。
The search for a successor is already underway. The road is long, but it has begun.
まあね、寂しくもあるんですけど、ここが日本の産紙業のね、砦っていう方もいるように、ここがなくなったら本当に日本から養蚕生産がなくなっちゃうので、ギリギリまでね、踏ん張りたいなと思うんですけど。
Silk fabric is born where the warp and the weft cross. The weft passes through the taut warp again and again, weaving something whole. There is a warp thread. It began at Tomioka in 1872, spread across the country, and runs still, here, today. There is a weft thread. Farmers raise the cocoons. The factory draws the thread. The craftsman tends the machines. Each one of them, at this very moment, is passing through that warp. When the two threads meet, something is made. When it passes into someone's hands, when it wraps around someone's body. What 150 years of work kept alive finally takes shape.